All right, so apparently on the free plan we don't have an intro. So, that's the way this show's going to go, everybody.
Yeah, I was about to be like, there's no intro on my end.
Yeah, there's no intro on my end because apparently we can't use the thing for free, so that's fun.
Wait, did they just add that?
Well, here's the thing. I paid for a month of it, and I thought you could use the features still on the free plan, but apparently you can't use the videos or any of that. So, hey, it's Wednesday. You know what that means? It's time for This Is a Clusterfuck.
Yeah, okay. Maybe Riverside for the next stream.
Listen, I'm definitely gonna look into it because this is ridiculous. But yeah, so that's the way this stream's gonna go. Here's this.
But we're here.
We're here.
We got this.
Yeah, so this is a thing I like to do from time to time if you guys are interested. And that is, I will pie myself in the face for every $25 we receive in donations. I'm unemployed, so anything helps.
Go ahead, throw a couple donations our way, and see Greg get himself pied. That is not the way that I wanted to word that.
Listen, I don't even care at this point how you word it.
At least you said the wording part of that.
Yeah.
I don't even care. Greg? But, hey, sports are doing well for you.
Sports are doing well for me. Not so well for Ian's guys. But,
bro, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Yeah. I'm sure you're still feeling the pain of, the blocked field goal.
How much time you got?
Well, depends on how quickly donations start rolling in.
Let's go with the high first. You guys beat arguably probably a top 5 team in the league this week or this last week, and solidified yourselves as a top 5 team in the league. You guys are the leaders. I think you guys are tied, but there's a division win that you guys have that makes you guys. No?
We have the edge over the Ravens because they have one more loss than we do.
Okay,
we have still
looking at this.
Not played a divisional game yet.
Is that? It's not this week. It's next week.
This coming week is our first one.
Okay.
Week 11 is our first divisional game. Yeah, it's messed up,
bro. I don't get my goddamn bye week for another 3 weeks.
I mean, that's pretty late in the season to have one.
It's incredibly late in the season. Luckily, we don't have any playoff aspirations this year. Otherwise, I feel like that would be a loss of momentum.
So I'm posting over on Blue Sky, hoping that brings over some new people. Blue Sky is something.
It's peaceful.
The Twitter alternative that doesn't suck. That's Blue Sky.
Bro, did you hear that it's the #1 app in the United States this week?
That's awesome.
And
that's
X,
really awesome.
X has fallen out of the top 25.
That's because X sucks.
Oh, yeah. It's nothing more than political propaganda over there now.
And you know how much I love politics.
It's a work. Buy the shirt.
Buy the shirt. But listen, if you don't believe me, damn it, I can't even show the picture of Maven. Are you kidding me?
Fuck this.
Dude, this is the X of platforms. Like, what the hell?
You gotta pay for it, man. That is shitty. Can you hold on? Can you open it in another tab and share your screen?
I'm not going through all that. Like, you guys saw the picture last week. If you haven't, go to Maven's or my Instagram. It's on there as a reel. He's rocking the shirt.
Buy the shirt. The link's in the Instagram video.
Listen, I'm unemployed right now. I need the money.
But yeah, man, what did you like from your Steelers this week? It was a close game, really
It
close
was a
game.
close game.
I don't think George Pickens has balled out like this his entire career.
I am glad that George Pickens is balling out of his mind right now. I don't know if it was the communication issue with Fields before, but him and Russ are cooking.
Him and Russ are like Russ and Tyler Lockett in their prime. Pickens is catching the deep balls that nobody else seems to have the hands for in Pittsburgh.
Listen, I'm good with having an offense. Okay, after the Matt Canada years and the Randy Fichtner years and everything that happened after Big Ben left, really since Big Ben got his injury and was out for the whole season. What was that, 2019 or something like that? 2018,
Yeah,
2019?
it was right before it was 2019 because 2020 was the pandemic year that you guys had an insane fucking season as well.
I mean, that was a roller coaster of a season. 11-0 all the way down to 12-5. It was stupid. But yeah, it's I can't believe we actually have an offense. It's ridiculous.
And you guys have had a top 3 defense for the last like 5 fucking seasons as well. If TJ Watt's on the field.
Which TJ Watt is on the field. And
TJ Watt has been on the field and he has been an absolute fucking menace.
And here's the thing, like his sack numbers aren't as high as they normally are, but his production on the field is what you would expect from TJ Watt. He's forced so many fumbles.
His sack numbers don't even tell the whole story because I've seen that man block a pass, catch an interception. He's pressuring the quarterbacks to no end.
Yeah.
Like if he's not sacking them, he's in their face damn near every other play causing some form of miscommunication. Or in Sunday's case, didn't Jaden Daniels throw an interception because of it?
I believe so.
TJ Watt is an absolute monster, regardless of where he plays. I kind of hope he stays a Pittsburgh lifer because you don't get a whole lot of those players. But Pittsburgh seems to hold those types of players.
Steelers, I think, hold on to players a lot longer than a lot of other teams do. A lot of other teams just trade players off. They send players on their merry way. Pittsburgh, if we like you, you stay here.
Any other team would have traded Big Ben in like maybe the last 3 years of his career.
But here's the thing. Even in the last 3 years of his career, Ben Roethlisberger was still a better quarterback than at least half the other quarterbacks in the league. So,
What? And I will always say, it is hard as shit to tackle a 6'6", 250-pound quarterback who can and will stiff arm your ass into the turn.
Yeah. Daniel saying his Lions are 8-1. Let me tell you what,
you guys talk about field goals.
The Lions pulled that game out of their ass. They were getting beat down by the Texans. And, Jared Goff throwing 5 picks.
5 interceptions.
And they still won. That's scary.
I saw a stat that someone said that he was 5-0 in games that he was 4 touchdowns or more. That same guy came out and said that he put that out as false information to see how many people he could get. But still, the fact that Jared Goff threw 5 interceptions was down 23-7 at half, and they came back and won. It also is a huge testament to how shitty of an offensive coordinator Bobby Slowick is.
Yeah.
Bobby Slowick has not scored a second half point this whole season, I don't think.
I need to rephrase what's on the screen because it's not specifically a $25 donation.
For every cumulative $25.
Yeah.
But now I can give you guys a rundown of my hell from Sunday. We had them. We had Kansas City. We ran a perfect, goddamn perfect 2-minute warning. Bo Nix threw for 215 yards, 2 touchdowns. We had a perfect 2-minute warning on the Chiefs.
Mm.
And we can't defend for a field goal. Not only that, I need Will Lutz to be shipped off in a shipping crate to like Madagascar or something so he can go find some goddamn coffee beans for the rest of his life. Because the fuck? Will Lutz has been my bane for most of this season. If he had even made that 60-yard field goal earlier in the game, we would have still won. Yeah. He missed 2 field goals, one of those being a blocked kick. I don't care. Will Lutz was garbage in Dallas. I don't know what we saw in him. We need a new kicker. I don't even give a shit if we waste a 5th-round pick on a kicker in the draft.
I mean, you can always probably sign one out of the unrestricted free agents.
Yeah. I don't know who's all going to be coming up as an unrestricted free agent.
Yeah, I mean, you can always find kickers in the draft if they're undrafted, too. You don't have to use one of your top picks.
But what if the kicker's just that good? It's been a rough week, bro. We had Kansas City. Denver would have been the team to save the NFL from an undefeated season.
Listen, I feel like there's a bubble getting ready to burst in Kansas City because the way the Chiefs are playing, it's not spectacular.
This is Patrick Mahomes' not only worst statistical season, but it's the worst season to watch the Chiefs play because they've been very boring.
Yeah, it's not the offensive juggernaut that we're used to with the Chiefs. So they play the Bills this Sunday, which that could be the 1 in 9-1 right there.
If Josh Allen keeps playing the way he has this year, which the only time I'll be rooting for Josh Allen this season, but I want him to throw for 4, run for 2. I don't give a shit how. I want the Bills to obliterate Kansas City. Unfortunately, Buffalo's defense is mediocre to subpar at best. So I really also hope this isn't the game that Mahomes throws for 350 yards.
That really depends. Speaking of undefeated streaks coming to an end, I am no longer undefeated in our fantasy league.
Damn.
Listen, I had a good run, and Josh was the one who beat me. And he had Jamar Chase, so I knew I was screwed.
Bro, we can talk about that game, too, because it was in your division. The Ravens and the Bengals put up one of the best games of the season. The Steelers and the Commies, also one of the best games of the season, but holy shit. The Ravens and the Bengals were at each other's throats both games this year.
They were. And it came down to the Ravens edging out a victory over the Bengals because neither one of them has a defense.
It's appearing that Baltimore doesn't have a secondary. They got Kyle Hamilton, and that's it. And he's dropping interceptions.
Yeah, which is unlike Kyle Hamilton. You never saw that in Notre Dame. But what I'm thinking is I had to look this up because I was curious why the Bengals were 4-6. And it's because they've given up the second most points in the NFL.
That tracks.
That's insane to me how poorly they've played. So essentially, Joe Burrow has got to put up 40, 45 points a game for them to have a chance to win because their defense is so bad.
And it's crazy because he's fucking doing that too.
He's trying. Yeah, like the Cincinnati offense is not anything to sneeze at, but their defense.
No, and Chase Brown is surprising. Chase Brown is surprising everybody at running back for the Cincinnati Bengals. They all thought Zach Moss was going to be the starter after they got him after his insane season in Indy.
Yeah.
Not to mention that I think T. Higgins has only played like half the games this season, maybe a little more than half.
Yeah, it's not
Burrow and Jamar Chase, that's a connection that, unless there's a trade that happens, is going to be one of the most dangerous duos in NFL history.
Yeah.
264 fucking yards,
And
three touchdowns.
I watched that game knowing that Josh had Jamar Chase. I was like, throw to somebody else.
You got a tight end? Use your tight end.
I yell that at Chicago, but Caleb Williams can't throw.
I yelled that at Caleb Williams as well because Cole Kmet had 0 fantasy points this week.
No, he had some. He
actually caught a pass.
Yeah, last week he did. And I'm sick of, Cole Kmet was a fantastic tight end coming out of Notre Dame. Why are you not throwing to him?
Dude, he's not just he is still one of the surest set of hands in the NFL. Madden doesn't give him his dues. Cole Kmet is probably one of the best receiving tight ends in the league, next to Zach Ertz. But Zach Ertz has also been in the league for 20 fucking years. So yeah. Zach Ertz is putting up Jason Witten levels of production.
It's crazy. There isn't a notable tight end that's normally you hear about the top tight ends in the NFL. You're not hearing a lot of that this year. Is it just me?
No, that Kelsey has had a very down year.
Yeah.
George Kittle's only real week that he was really productive was tight end day.
Yeah, that was
literally it was National Tight End Day. That was the burst for all of the players. And other than that, Dallas Goedert's had one good week. Jake Ferguson had a good week. Kyle Pitts has been a fantasy bust. Kelsey, Kittle. There are so many tight ends that are just not producing. And I don't know if that's coaches kind of pushing them out of their scheme or what, but it's showing in Pittsburgh with you guys and Pat Freiermuth. If you utilize your tight end as wide receiver 3, you're opening shit up past your run game, past your normal passing game, which is your X and your Y. So I don't know why tight ends aren't getting utilized because it showed it worked back in the 2000s.
Yeah, I don't understand why you're not using tight ends in your scheme. Yes, they're there to block for the most part. But if you want to throw in a 3 wide receiver, 1 tight end set to give yourself another option, do it. Especially if you have somebody who is athletic, like a George Kittle, like a Travis Kelce, like a Cole Kmet, like a
Nate Washington. Or Darnell Washington that you guys have.
I was going to say Nate Washington was
hurtling people.
Nate Washington was a wide receiver.
Nate Washington was a wide receiver.
He was a wide receiver. Like a Gronkowski. If we're going to throw back to people who aren't playing anymore. Like a Heath Miller.
Antonio Gates. Tony Gonzalez. Hell, you can even be Zach Ertz is the Algie Crumpler fucking archetype. He's a big, bulky, blocking tight end, but if he gets the ball, you can throw to him 7 times a game, and he's going to average you 70 yards because he's going to get you a first down.
Even Mark Andrews, when he's super healthy, his usage this season has been incredibly weird.
Most of the targets that would go to him are going to Isaiah Likely. But even those are far and few in between.
Yeah, it's so weird. I don't understand. Either Andrew's career is winding down or they just see something more likely. I don't know what to do for it.
An ACL tear really does bring your whole shit down. But his was a broken leg, wasn't it?
Possibly.
I know his was a leg injury. My brother would be like, it was this, you fucking moron. Yeah.
Hey, listen, I'll talk trash on the Ravens because it's Ravens week. Then tell your brother to donate money so I find myself in the face. There you go.
You guys have a very good chance at beating Baltimore because you guys have a defense. So it's going to be a little more difficult. unless they run Derrick Henry 30 times a game, as we all know, Derrick Henry gets stronger as the game goes on.
Yeah, like stopping Derrick Henry, I think, is going to be a challenge. But here's the thing with Lamar Jackson, and I've said this, I'm pretty sure I said this last week, I've said it on several. Lamar Jackson has a hard time beating the Steelers. He's 2-4 against them. And this is a much better team.
This time?
That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where they're at. Lamar Jackson has a hard time beating Pittsburgh. And I'm not sure whether it's facing off against Tomlin, whether it's the Steelers defense pressures Lamar Jackson a lot, because whatever the Steelers defensive game plan is against Lamar Jackson, it works. I don't know why other teams in the league don't use that as a template when you're facing Baltimore and apply it to yourself. Maybe they don't have the same athletes. I don't know. But
not every team has a TJ Watt.
That's true. Unfortunately for TJ Watt, Alex Highsmith is going to be out for a couple weeks due to an ankle injury that he suffered late in that game.
Was he the one that rolled his ankle really bad?
Yeah.
The one where he was up vertically and his foot just went directly sideways.
Yeah, what he did was he stepped on Jaden Daniels' foot and his ankle got all fucky. So
yeah, I remember wincing at that because that looked painful as fuck.
Oh, I'm sure it was painful as fuck. But the thing is, I'm just glad it wasn't worse.
Yeah,
I'm glad it wasn't he blew out his knee, tore something in his leg. A sprained ankle, even a severely sprained ankle, out for a couple weeks. Listen,
we'll take that.
Yeah, we'll take that and run.
It does mean that there's going to need to be. I don't know. Usually, Pittsburgh has a good backup system. You guys usually have some very good backups in your systems.
Yeah. We do, and fortunately, it seems like we got some significant depth. So that makes me happy. So I'm looking forward to the Ravens and Steelers playing on Sunday afternoon, because they can't flex it. It's a 1:00 game.
What you would think that would be more prime time leaning?
I don't know why they don't flex it.
What is the primetime game this week?
Well, we're going to be talking about it, so.
Yeah, let me pull up my FanDuel as well.
We're going to be talking about our predictions for Week 11. The Week 11 Sunday Night Football game, as of this moment, is Bengals and Chargers.
Yeah, no, we really could have flexed out of that one.
Yeah. Heck, flex them into the Monday night game. The Monday night game is the Texans and the Cowboys. That's going to be a massacre.
Oh, it's the battle for Texas. Everybody wants to see this game, Greg.
Yeah, okay. Listen, tomorrow night is going to be a really good game. It's the Commanders and the Eagles, two top teams in the NFC East.
I expect that to be, and I know I said it earlier, but that's probably going to be one of the games of the year.
It should be a good one. So after the Steelers-Commanders game on Sunday, I was toying with the idea of talking to Maven because, as Maven revealed on Jack of All Trades, he is a Commanders fan.
Big Commanders fan.
Big Commanders fan.
Big Commanders.
And, I was going to text him something like if the Steelers lost and be like, hey, congrats on the win, man, blah, blah, blah. But I was like, the Steelers won. Do I want to text him and you
gotta rub a little bit of salt in the wound.
I was very what's the word? I need to start taking multivitamins or something, man. My brain is shut down.
You were very cautious?
Not cautious, but very diplomatic is the word.
Diplomatic, okay. You were choicey with your words.
I was very choicey. I didn't rub the victory in. I just said something like, hey, the Commanders are a good team, good game, something along those lines. And then we ended up talking for 3 hours about football. So, stuff like that.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
again, that game was damn fun to watch.
It definitely was.
Like the plays that happened during that game were very, very enjoyable. That Pickens catch in the end zone was insane.
Hey, listen, I'm happy for Mike Williams, man. Like, he went from being the scapegoat in New York to being the hero in Pittsburgh in a week's time.
Tom Grassi made a good joke about that. He's like, "Oh, so now you can run your routes and catch balls to win games."
Maybe you need the right coach. Maybe you need the right quarterback. Maybe you need the right leader.
Maybe he needed Russell fucking Wilson.
Listen, Aaron Rodgers might be washed, man.
Might be.
I know. I'm being, again, diplomatic.
Oh, bro. No, after last week, there was a point I was watching that game. It was after he got sacked from behind and gave up that fumble. I was sitting there and I'm like, damn, Rodgers might just retire middle of the season.
I think I probably would have retired after I played 4 plays for the Jets, tore my Achilles, and was like, all right, well.
I already got the bag. I would have retired.
Yeah, just ended on a whimper.
I didn't want to do, but now he's making everything like in his career. He's starting to do what Eli Manning did and is outplaying his career.
And it's one of those things where not everybody is going to have the career of a Tom Brady, of a Peyton Manning, of
even Manning towards the end, bro. Manning started dying towards the end of his career.
Yeah, but he ended his career winning a Super Bowl, so
that defense won him a Super Bowl, and everybody knows it.
I know the Denver defense was solid for Super Bowl 50, but what I'm saying is, he was still the quarterback. It wasn't, Anyway.
Watch as we fuck around and Rodgers wins the goddamn Super Bowl next year.
You think he's
got I think would be, no. I think he might genuinely retire in the middle of the year. He's looking at the team that he just built, and he's like, I can't get any better than this. Fuck it.
Yeah. I mean, he even had... I don't really feel bad for Devontae Adams, though, because, he went in a span of 7 days, losing to the Steelers, getting traded, and then losing to the Steelers. That has to be a record.
I do think that Devontae did make NFL history with that by being the only player to lose to the same team back-to-back weeks.
Because I don't think any teams have played each other in back-to-back weeks. Am I wrong on that?
There might have been a couple, there might be a couple of, week 17 into wild card games. That would be the only thing I could think of, but that wouldn't necessarily be week to week, would it?
I don't know, because I feel like that happened to the Steelers and the Browns. I feel like the Steelers ended their season against the Browns and then played them in the wild card again a few years ago. I feel like that happened. But definitely losing to the same team when you're on 2 different teams. That's
never been done before.
No. So congratulations, Devontae Adams.
We have had a bunch of really weird NFL records set this year.
I know. I think we say every year. It's been a weird year for football. This year is also falling into that category.
Oh, yeah. Dak Prescott is washed.
Dak Prescott's out for the season.
Yeah, that's another one. I don't know if it's Dak being washed or if Mike McCarthy just can't coach to save a burning orphanage.
I would say likely the latter. And also Jerry Jones being...
Jerry.
Yeah.
Jerry being Jerry.
Also, in college football news, Notre Dame's doing well.
Yeah, I was about to say, you guys are on a win streak right now, aren't you?
Yep. We beat Florida State 52-3 on Saturday. That was
Dude,
fun.
what the fuck happened to Florida State, by the
Florida
way?
State. Here's the thing. Florida State was preseason ranked number 10.
And now they're so far out of the rankings that it's going to be hard for them to pull back next year.
Yeah. They're what, 1-8, 1-9 right now.
God.
It is
just missed the playoffs last year. Like, isn't that what happened to them?
Yeah, Florida State was a good team last year. The wheels have fallen the hell off.
I think they all blew up simultaneously.
I'm pretty sure DJ Uyunglele, who I believe quarterback Florida State to start the season, never wants to see Notre Dame across the field from him ever again.
Oh, you guys beat the shit out of him.
We did it when he was at Clemson, too. That's my point.
Can't get away from these guys.
Nope. So I'm sure he's sick of being in the losing column against Notre Dame.
Who do you guys have next? Who does Notre Dame have next? Or are they on bye week?
No, we've had our bye weeks. I believe this week is the Shamrock Series game against Army.
That's the one that's played at Yankee, right?
It's either Army or it's Virginia. I can't remember which one's first. And yes, the Army game is at Yankee Stadium.
Okay.
Notre Dame. I might be wrong. I think it might be Virginia. Yep, it's Virginia. Okay.
All right.
So it's Virginia, it's undefeated Army, and then it's USC, who also fell off a cliff.
Yeah, what is the Army's record right now? Or you said they're undefeated, but what's their ranking?
16th.
That's fucking mental.
Yeah.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's insane that. Listen, when we played Navy, they were unbeaten too.
You're just gonna start knocking off all the military branches.
I mean, that seems to be par for the course. We don't play Air Force this year, so whatever. But yeah, I never would have thought
easy strength of schedule going towards the end. It's not easy, but it's not like
it's not our fault. We expected Florida State to be like top 10, top 15 team, and USC was ranked, and they beat LSU to start the season. So we're like, okay, well, this is going to be a good rivalry game, and then USC absolutely just tanked.
So you've got two games that you should win, and then that Navy game or that Army game is just going to be real interesting to watch.
I feel like the Irish are going to run the table because, again, Navy came in undefeated, and then Notre Dame forced them to turn the ball over 5 or 6 times and stomp them into the ground.
It's hard to come back from that unless you're the Detroit Lions.
That's true. And no offense to the midshipmen, but they are no Detroit Lions. So Army, the Black Knights, it should be interesting to see since the academies run a very similar offensive style. So Notre Dame, having already faced Navy, are very familiar with the style of offense that they run. So that game might not be as close as people think. I think there are some people picking Army over Notre Dame, though. And I'm like,
okay. It's a big upset. I mean, I could probably tell you what the spread looks like for that right now. Notre Dame versus Army Lions. All right. And this is via covers.com.
Yep.
The current spread is 13.5 in favor of Notre Dame. So you guys are expected to win by about 2 touchdowns.
Fascinating. Here's the thing, though, with the spread. I don't pay attention to it. We saw what happened with Northern Illinois.
Oh, yeah.
And that's been shoved in their faces since that game happened.
And you guys have won,
they're on
I
a
think, every
mission
game
to be
since then.
Yeah, they've won every game since then. They've dominated in pretty much every game they've won since then. I think the Northern Illinois loss pissed them off, and they're like, okay, fuck all of y'all. We're just going to whoop all your asses.
Yeah, the total also is 44.5 points. So it's not, they're expecting it to kind of be a lower scoring game.
Which is understandable because with the service academies, you don't get a ton of possessions because the clock is just continually running. The service academies run the ball a lot. They very rarely pass.
Yeah.
At least in my history of watching the service academies play, they very rarely pass. They do pass on occasion, and sometimes it works, but the run game is their strength, so they stick to that. So, by that,
I mean, it's working for Boise State, so.
Yeah, but when you have the most statistically strong running back in the country, yeah, you would run him too.
Yeah, that kid's insane. Is he a junior? He's not a senior, is he?
Let me look. He is a junior, yeah.
Okay, so he's probably got one more year that he will put in before he hits the league.
Depends. Maybe he'll declare for the draft.
If he declares for the draft, he's got to go top 10, right?
You would think. I mean, I feel like a lot of college athletes, especially if they get a lot of notoriety, they want to strike while the iron's hot.
Oh, yeah.
So,
which, for better or worse.
Yeah, it doesn't work out for all of them. I'm just saying. I mean, look at good old Johnny Football, who declared after he was a sophomore for the NFL draft. Got drafted by the Browns.
I remember he declared early as shit.
Yeah, because he's like, oh yeah, I don't need to play college ball for 4 years, and maybe you should have.
At least got that college education because fucking hell, he had a rough go at it after he got out of the football.
Well, he was drafted by Cleveland.
He finally made it back to his feet, but Jesus, he had a rough go at it after the career.
Yeah, what is he even doing nowadays?
I think he works for like the college, like he's in college analysts, I believe. I think he works for A&M's like network.
That makes sense. I'd love to hear his thoughts about the A&M's first game of the year when they played Notre Dame and lost them.
Hey man, CU's also doing really good this year. I wasn't expecting them to do as good as they have.
Yeah, and where are they ranked?
And we're I think 16th.
College football playoff. Listen, I knew I didn't have anything to worry about with Notre Dame because they whooped ass. Colorado is actually 18th. They're two behind. They're two behind Army because they're 7th.
Okay. But yeah, no, they're doing a lot better than I was expecting. I think maybe a lot better than a lot of people were expecting. Mm-hmm. 1-11 one season. The next year we went 4-8, 4-9.
Yeah, Colorado did not have a great year last year.
No, but it was astronomically better than the 1-win season that we had the year before.
That's fair.
So Dion really has like turned that program around.
He has. He also has ridiculous athletes. Like Travis Hunter is just a freak of nature.
And Shador's going into the league this year. So we'll see if Colorado's able to maintain what
everybody
they have.
wants to play for Coach Prime.
Everybody love Coach Prime.
And boy, I'll tell you what, I feel like especially last year, people wanted to see Colorado lose a lot because they were so complicated.
Oh, yeah.
Like, after Colorado beat, who they beat in the opener last year? TCU, who had played in the national championship game the year before. They beat TCU by 3 points. And after that, people were putting Colorado in the national championship. It's like,
oh, I remember, bro.
It's like, okay, it's one game. Slow your roll.
It's one game against a team that got absolutely murdered in the goddamn Natty.
Georgia beat them by what, 59 points? Yeah.
It was 63-3.
Yeah, it was not a close. If you were a TCU fan, like, listen, I was pissed off when I watched Alabama beat Notre Dame 42-14. I am so glad I was not on the receiving end of a 66-7 loss. Okay? Just me.
As somebody who's witnessed the second most points scored in an NFL game on your team, it's not pleasant. It's not a pleasant feeling. You see that score whenever you close your eyes.
Yeah. Seeing a team drop 70 on you.
But hey, we scored 20 points, and isn't that a moral victory enough? No.
Yeah, you only lost by 50. Look on the bright side. If there was a bright side to look on.
Now I'm thinking about the blocked field goal again, and I'm just sad. Greg, let's talk about next week.
Well, we haven't talked, since Jeff's not here, we haven't talked about the absolute demolition that the Cowboys. I put it on the freaking poster for the show that we were going to make fun of the Cowboys.
We talked about Rodgers as well, but something that we didn't actually bring up. That first slate of games, the morning slate of football games, fucking really good football throughout the entire slate. And then
afternoon slate. What?
Yeah, the afternoon games. Blowout.
Yeah.
31-6 was the final score for 2 of those games. We saw the Dallas Cowboys turn the ball over 6 times between 2 different quarterbacks and a running back. So, yeah, how about them Cowboys? How about Cooper Rush? How about Trey Lance? How about CeeDee Lamb looking into the sun as if that's how you're supposed to do things?
I mean, I feel like they're just looking for excuses at that point. It's like, you know where the sun is. You play in that's your home stadium.
Jerry built that stadium for a reason. He built that stadium for the same reason that Hard Rock Stadium was built the way it was.
Mm.
So, you know what your stadium's supposed to do. However, CeeDee Lamb was so illuminated, you could think that the hand of God was on him himself.
Yeah. Well, if the hand of God was on him, he would have caught that.
He would have caught that ball.
Yeah, he would have. It was not a pretty performance from Dallas whatsoever. I was very happy about it because I had the Eagles defense in fantasy football, so that was very helpful.
How many points did they end up fucking putting up?
For the Wrestling Media League, they had 23 points total.
As a defense, that's fucking insane.
Yeah.
Because
they only gave up 6, and they forced 5 turnovers. So,
and then
a couple fouls.
Let's point out the fact that the Eagles had their backups in middle of the third quarter.
Yeah. I mean, why risk injury when you're facing off against the Commanders on Thursday night?
The game was won, so Sirianni, and potentially one of the best moves he's had all year, just pulled his starters.
Yeah.
Against a divisional team, no less. Looking at it from the other side, I'm surprised Mike McCarthy hasn't gotten shit canned yet. To lose to Philly in such a manner at home. It's unacceptable.
His starting quarterback was out, but that's no real excuse for the defense to perform as poorly as they did.
Mm-hmm.
It was just an all-around shit show for Dallas, and I want to see the Thanksgiving slate of games too, just because.
Oh yeah, that's next week's games.
Dude, isn't that hard to believe?
Holy shit!
Actually,
Why did
no.
I just now put 2 and 2 together? 2 weeks. But yeah, no. Time is a fucking construct. Ladies and gentlemen, it's already fucking holiday season.
So one of these games will be entertaining. The Lions are playing the Bears at 12:30.
That could be good depending on what Caleb Williams we
Probably they're facing the Lions. I don't think we're getting any good things from Caleb Williams.
I don't know, man. We just watched Jared Goff throw 5 interceptions in one game. They still won, but they shouldn't have.
The 4:30 game is, I don't even want to call it America's Game of the Week. It's probably the We Hate America's Game of the Week because it's the Giants and the Cowboys.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, there's not going to be a lot to be thankful for watching that.
When it's
game.
over, people will be thankful for that.
We're thankful that this thing is fucking done.
And then the Thursday night football game is the Dolphins and the Packers. That one might be fun.
Okay, that should be fun.
As long as we don't watch Tua get another concussion, which I swear, if that happens again, just retire Tua while you still have functioning of your brain. I don't have functioning of my brain. I don't play
concussions come in prime time. Have all of his concussions come during prime time?
I don't think all of them. Most of them.
Yeah, I was about to say, because I'm pretty sure most of them have either happened on a Thursday or a Monday.
Well, the one game that they put him back in, he couldn't even walk, and it was like a Sunday afternoon game.
They let that man get 2 concussions in one day.
In 1 week. But it was just, I don't know who let him out on that field on Thursday, but somebody should have been fired over that.
Yeah, didn't he get hit real hard on Sunday night too? I think I heard somewhere about that.
He got, well, it would have been Monday night because they played Monday night. He got
my bad.
Knee to the helmet.
That's what it was. Someone said that he got Kinshasa.
Pretty much. They got the old regal knee to the side of the head.
Which again, we really don't want. I would honestly feel safer if Tua wore a fucking Guardian cap.
But he said he won't.
That way I'm not wincing at every. At least I wouldn't wince at every goddamn play I'm watching him on for.
At what point in his career, if he has much of one left, you say, hey, we're not giving you a choice. You've had, 6 concussions in your career? Put the damn helmet on.
Bro, there was somebody that could have done that to him, but the doctors in Miami decided that he was ready to go play football again.
Who are they hiring in Miami to be doctors, and where do I apply? Apparently you don't need any medical training.
Bro, we have all these people sitting at home going, yeah, no, I wouldn't have cleared Tua, and I'm sitting here on the couch. I got 6 beers in me, and I wouldn't put Tua back out there.
When your fingers look like this when you hit the ground, yeah, you're not okay.
It's no. God, and Chris Olave too. I don't know if we talked about it last week, but the hospital ball that Derrick Henry threw up to get Chris Olave concussed. We also looked that up. That's Chris Olave's 6th concussion in his NFL career.
Yeah, he might not have much longer either.
It's just when you see players like that, and then you know the history of how many head injuries they've had, you just start worrying, man, because we know the long-lasting effects. We can't tell if Antonio Brown has CTE, but we can fucking damn near prove that he has it before he's gone. It's crazy, man. It's sad too, kind of, because like now you're watching Dolphins games with a fear.
Mm-hmm. And that shouldn't be. After this last concussion, I would have just pulled him for the season. Be like, but I don't care if you do feel better. You've been concussed. You have a history of concussions. You don't need to be back out onto that field for until next season at the very early.
We can tank. We can tank for one fucking season behind Skylar fucking Thompson, and you get a new piece for your offense, or maybe bolster that defense that needs it. Tua should not have played another snap this year. Yeah, I don't even think Mike McDaniel's job would have been on the line if they tanked this year, because it wouldn't have been his fault if they lost that many games.
Yeah. But again, if Tua gets concussed again, his career's over. And if it's not, I say that out of the fear of I don't want to see somebody get like. I don't want to see somebody become a vegetable on live TV. I don't want to see that. I listen, we love football. It's a great game. You don't want to see anybody get hurt. And you especially don't want to see somebody fuck up their life for the rest of their life.
So
especially when it could have been prevented.
He is a month and like 2 weeks older than I am.
Yeah.
Let that sink in. This dude, to a lot of y'all watching, that dude is a kid still.
Mm-hmm. He's a kid to me.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what. When you see something like that happen to somebody around your age or even a little younger, you're like, damn, it doesn't even make sense. Like when Bray Wyatt passed away, I'm like slightly older than Bray Wyatt was, so it's terrifying to think like something like that could happen. Like anybody could go at any minute.
And all it takes is a slip or something like that.
Yeah, and it's a terrifying thought to think about when it comes to people's health. You don't want to. Just makes me shudder thinking about it.
DJ Mutt King, hello, gentlemen. For the record, screw the CFP committee. Go Irish.
Listen, I am perfectly fine where we're at right now. We're ranked 8th. We're in the 9th spot because of all the fuckiness with the top 4. But we're in a good spot. I'm not complaining whatsoever. And especially because Georgia and Tennessee play each other this weekend.
That should be a damn good game.
It should be a
damn good game.
If Georgia loses, though, they're likely out of the playoffs completely.
Which is, dude, all of the powerhouses have kind of just fallen. Like almost all of the powerhouses.
Yeah. Alabama's in that same boat. They have 2 losses as well. And granted, they stomped the shit out of LSU this past weekend. But, I mean, they're also the team that lost to Vanderbilt. And no top 5 team had ever lost to Vanderbilt in that school's history.
They ever find those field goal posts?
I'm sure they had. I think the university got fined for that. But
you just got to let moments like that happen, though. You really do in college football.
Yeah, it's because they're excited. Like, that's a moment that those people will remember. It's like, remember that
rest
time
of their lives.
We beat Alabama. They were number 1 in the country, and we beat them.
Yeah, dude, that's a clip that, they'll be able to show their kids and be like, hey, if you've got aspirations, you can go here and something like this could happen.
Yeah.
Like it can happen to any school, but it's really cool whenever you're able to be there in person for it live.
Yeah, it's like I was there for that game. It was one of the best games I've ever seen in my life. Because they don't get the field. Yeah. They don't get those moments very often. All right, let's run down week 11 of the NFL. We got 5 minutes.
Okay. Yeah, we can get through this pretty quick.
And then you'll send me whatever streaming service I have to use for the next one because I'm tired of it.
Will do.
Listen, if nobody donates to the show, we can't provide you better quality. I'm sorry. Like it just
Yeah.
if you want better quality shows, share the show with your friends because I'm
Get it out there.
unemployed. I can't pay for it, and I like doing this. So
Help us.
I don't have the reach that a lot of people do. So help us out. Appreciate it. Commanders Eagles tomorrow night.
3.5 point spread in favor of the Eagles. I actually have the commies here.
I think the Commanders are going to pull this one out too. I think that since they were so close and almost beating Pittsburgh, that they're going to want to take it out on the other side of the state and their divisional rival. So I'll take the Commanders too.
All right. Jacksonville and Detroit. Oh, what game did you have?
Raiders,
next?
Dolphins.
That's funny. FanDuel's got that game down like 6 games down the list. You go first then. So Raiders what?
Yeah. Dolphins are probably going to win that one because the Raiders just are not.
7.5 point spread in favor of Miami. The Raiders don't have a team. They got Max Crosby, and that's it. So I'm going Miami here.
Yeah. All right, next up.
Oh, Jacksonville, Detroit. A 13.5 point spread in favor of Detroit.
That may be kind, too. Because, again, Jacksonville, not a good team. Detroit, a very good team.
Very good team.
They're my pick for the NFC for the Super Bowl. They really are. I don't see anybody in the NFC knocking off Detroit. I just don't see
it. If they lose anywhere on the way to the NFC Championship or the Super Bowl, it will fall on Dan Campbell. But that's not happening against Jacksonville, another team that doesn't have a team. Yep. Detroit all the way. I'd probably even take the spread.
I might take the spread for that one, too.
Green Bay at Chicago. Will Green Bay still own the Bears?
I mean, Green Bay's been owning the Bears for years. I think the Packers are a better team than Chicago. So I'm picking Jordan Love and the Packers for this one.
At a 5.5 point spread, I'm taking the underdog Chicago Bears here.
Wow. Okay.
And I would never say that usually Green Bay versus Chicago, but Jordan Love's been hurt off and on this year.
All right.
LA Rams at the New England Patriots. Another game of our time.
Listen, neither one of them are good, but the Patriots showed me that they were more of a team when they beat the dog shit out of the Bears. So I hate saying these words in a sentence together. I'm picking the Patriots.
At a 4.5 point underdog, you're going the Patriots.
I'm going the Patriots.
I think I went with the Rams.
Okay.
I feel like last week was a fluke. The Rams just have way too many offensive weapons to not beat the Patriots here.
Yeah.
Cleveland Browns at the New Orleans Saints at a 1.5 point spread.
They tie.
Bro, I'd be pissed.
Listen, neither one of them, again, are good teams. Like there's a large discrepancy with the good teams and the bad teams in the NFL.
It starts at team. It starts at like team power rank.
Yeah, it's 7:59. We got to rapid fire these.
Oh yeah,
give me the Browns on this one, I guess.
I'm going the Saints. Minnesota Vikings at Tennessee.
Vikings. Titans are terrible.
Yeah, but the Vikings didn't look good last week either. I think I went Tennessee.
They're still better than Tennessee.
Indianapolis at the Jersey Jets.
Again, more bad teams. Why are there so many bad teams in the NFL?
Week of football coming our way.
I think Anthony Richardson being back on the Colts is going to spark something on their offense. So give me Indianapolis.
Aaron Rodgers is going to bury his defensive coordinator in the bayou. I'm going with the Jets here.
Okay.
Raiders at Dolphins.
I I think we covered that one, Miami.
Yeah, I think we both went the Dolphins on that one.
Yeah.
Your game of the week, Baltimore at Pitt.
It's a home game for Pittsburgh. Lamar Jackson, historically not good against the Steelers. You're not going to see me pick against my boys. I'm taking Pittsburgh.
I think King Henry makes the difference here. I'm going Baltimore. All right, afternoon games. Seattle, San Francisco.
49ers are very injury-ridden right now, but I'm still going to pick them.
I went with Seattle for that very reason, that they're very injury-riddled. Atlanta at Denver. I'm going Denver.
What a shot. You know what? I'm going to take Denver too. I think with it being in Denver, that's going to give them the flight edge.
I don't know how we're the favorites in that game. Kansas City at Buffalo. Kansas City's the dog here.
As they should be, because the Bills are honestly the better team, despite their records. Give me the Bills.
I'm going Bills as well. Sunday night, Cincy at the Chargers. God, these games suck this week.
Oh my God. I'm telling you. Like I said, there is a lot of discrepancy. I feel like the Bengals are more prepared for this one offensively. Give me Cincinnati. I picked every AFC North team except the Ravens, but that's only because they play Pittsburgh.
The Bengals are the underdogs here. I'm going Cincy. And then Monday night, the battle for Texas. 7.5-point spread. I'm going Houston.
Oh, yeah. CJ Stroud is going to just dog walk the Cowboys.
If every other team in the NFL has done what they did to Dallas, Houston might put up 50 points on Monday.
Good, because I have CJ Stroud in fantasy football. All right. So thank you, everybody, for joining us for the Greg Cherry Show. No pie, even though I had the shaving cream right here. Maybe we'll try next week. Maybe when we're on a different platform. I don't know. We'll see how
when we have our videos.
Yeah, that was frustrating. But until next week, have a good night, and we'll see you next week on the Greg Cherry Show. Don't be a jag, much like Restream is. Have a good one.